abducted from the village and 18 were later released. Kaura further disclosed that the freed 18 victims have been admitted to hospital for medical treatment. In the meantime, a group, Zamfara Good Governance Forum, has called for the resignation of Governor Dauda Lawal over what is described as gross incompetence and unforgivable failure in the face in the state. The call followed the killing of 35 abducted villagers in Kaura Namoda local government area despite the payment of 50 million naira ransom. In a statement issued in Guzau, the group through its president Alhaji Sani Mohammed described the situation as the latest example of the collapse of governance and leadership under Governor Lawal. The group said Lawal's approach to security is marked as inconsistency, political gamesmanship, and complete lack of strategy. The governor is yet to respond. Over to sports. President Bola Tinubu will today host victorious members of the Super Falcons of Nigeria. The victorious contingent, who is about now at the Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport, less than 2 days after winning their 10th Women African Cup of Nations in Morocco, and the Nigeria Football Federation will move to Presidential Villa in an open-roof bus along populated districts with the iconic trophy in view of onlookers. The Super Falcons accomplished a record-extending 10th Women AFCON title triumph on Saturday night with a come-from-behind 3-2 defeat of host Morocco at Rabat Stade Olympic. Nigeria's #1 citizen, His Excellency President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR, is scheduled to host the team at the Presidential Villa this afternoon. And that's it on News at Noon on Aneke TV. Up next is Sports with Gideon and Happiness. Thanks for joining us.
Of the Oja, the traditional Igbo flute, and Okeke drum echoing through the air, the festival created a peaceful and reflective atmosphere. It reminded guests of the deep values rooted in Igbo culture, where music, moonlight stories, and tradition are deeply connected. One of the key aims of the festival is to promote cultural awareness and identity, especially among the young generation. Organizers say the event is relevant now more than ever as modern influences continue to push many indigenous languages and traditions to the background. The festival encourages Igbo people across the globe to embrace their roots, speak their language, and carry forward the values of truth, peace, unity, and communal living. Names like Ndoka, Ndubisi, and Ndodi reflect the Igbo view of life as sacred. The event revisited a key moment in Achebe's novel, where Okonkwo accidentally killed a clansman and exiled, showing how Igbo culture handles justice and morality. The award-winning author Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie was among the special guests.
In Igbo culture, nothing is more sacred than life. In Igbo culture, a sibling must never take the life of another sibling. That is what we mean when we call a child Ndoka, Ndubisi, Ndode. The preservation of life is sacrosanct. Things Fall Apart demonstrates the central Igbo belief in the sacredness of life. Okonkwo accidentally murders a member of his community. It is truly an accident. His gun goes off during a feast, and yet his community punishes him severely. His home is destroyed and burnt, and he's banished for years. And this was an accident. Now imagine the severity of the punishment for murder in Igbo culture. Igbo culture abhors the taking of innocent life. We must remember that we are a great people. We have to remember that we are people who make remarkable sacrifices to live their dreams wherever they find themselves. We are people who have mastered the art of surviving the most unaccustomed parts of the earth. Let us not forget the wonderful, unique apprenticeship system that we have, Mwa Boy. Often we forget the Mwa Girl, where young women learn things like sewing from women, and the wonderful and unique rituals and expectations that those involve. Ndibo, let us remember who we really are. We cannot become untethered from the harness of our proud and beautiful history and heritage. Igbo must once again mean what it truly means. Not selfishness, but community. Not violence, but a fierce desire to succeed through hard work, diligence, honesty, truth-telling. Where is the gatekeeping role of the community over every member? Something that has been central in Igbo culture for centuries. Every success needs validation from the cultural milieu that birthed it. We hear success stories, but in most cases we see only the success but not the story. What is the story behind the successes that we celebrate today? Okonkwo's greatness in Umuofia was not possible without Umuofia's collective say-so. Ndibo must unite and strive to become a beacon for Nigeria and indeed for Africa.
Adichie describes Chinua Achebe as a writer who deeply loved his people and used stories to preserve Igbo identity. She also encouraged young writers in the audience to keep working on their crafts despite setbacks. Chinwendo Ifeanwankwo, Aneke TV.
Many thanks to you for having joined us on Aneke Television today. Yes, this is the platform where we always meet to take on burning issues and matters which affects us as people in society. Yes, here we host analysts and guests who come to give us their own take on these issues and matters, just to keep you informed, educated, and enlightened more and better. My name is Chris Aneke. Thanking you for having joined us today. Of course, on the show today, we want to look at security situation in Enugu State. Everything revolves around security. Yet, insecurity seems to be plaguing the entire world as of today. You understand that there is insecurity crisis everywhere. It is not one form of war between one nation or the other, as we now witness between Israel, Iran, United States, even between Russia, Ukraine, that has been ongoing for years now. And these are more. But then coming down to Nigeria, insecurity is everywhere. The entire northeast, northwest, and then recently north central states of Benue, Plateau. And this has equally trickled down to the southeastern states as well. And Enugu is not left out. But today we're going to know the extent to all of these insecurity issues and crises, and what is the government efforts at combating them, so that lives and property will be secured. And to help us do analysis of this important discussion today on Aneke television, the senior special assistant to the governor of Enugu State on new media, in the person of Dr. Ruben Onishi. Doc, you're welcome to Aneke television.
Please, thank you for having me.
And thank you for obliging our call each time we call on you.
Thank you.
All right, there viewers, sit back as the show progresses. Dr. Onishi, you will agree with me that the primary responsibility of every government is the security, the protection of the lives and property of its citizens. I wouldn't know. What is the security situation in Enugu State as of today?
Well, the security situation in Enugu, as you know, is that Enugu is arguably the safest place to live in Nigeria. You understand, because of what His Excellency has done. Like you acknowledge that insecurity is something that is rife all over the world, and then in Nigeria, the northeast, northwest, and everywhere. All right, but right from when this government came in, we recognize the fact that security is important if the governor must achieve his manifesto. Which, as a matter of fact, there are three aspects of this manifesto.
Go ahead, talk to us.
Number one, to make Enugu the first choice of investment destination, and then to raise the GDP from $4.4 billion to $30 billion, and then to reduce poverty headcount index to 0% level. So are the three things. And then to achieve this, you must get it right with security, because investors can take other risks. They can take financial risks, they can take commercial risks and other risks, but they cannot take security risks.
That's right.
So when the governor came in, the first thing he did was to stop sit at home, with its attendance effect on the economy, and then the security implication of it. You know, that time people were being killed, people were afraid, people weren't coming out, all manner of things. Do you understand? But the governor came and said, no, this is one situation up with which we shall never put. So he put an end to it, made sure it was stopped. In fact, as a matter of fact, he supervised it. You recall then that we were going from shop to shop, making sure that people open. Do you understand? And then it wasn't just like we were going to make sure that people open, but we were also taking care of the fact that nobody could come into this Enugu and do anything. Do you understand? And you saw that how that panned out. Then apart from that, His Excellency now decided to rev up the security situation by first of all establishing the DRS. You know why? Immediately it came in, the DRS was recruited, and then they started training them. After
that's a distress
response squad.
Response squad, okay.
Then brought in almost about 300 vehicles. Do you understand? Equipped with AI embedded surveillance camera. Do you understand? Installed camera in all nooks and crannies of the state, strategic locations. Do you understand? Then set up the command and control center, from where the entire state is monitored. Do you understand? And this AI embedded camera helped to in the area of surveillance, in the area of communication and policing. Do you understand? And you could see that that is actually paying off. You understand? Because the entire Enugu is monitored. In fact, I was at the Command and Control Center. I saw for myself, when I got there, I saw Pugogo Road, real time, vehicles passing. I saw Falcon, I saw places being monitored. Do you understand? So His Excellency was prepared for security. And it is paying off. Forget about fake news. All right? Forget about fake news.
Which is fake news now?
Fake news, because at times people will generate these things to create fear, and there are some politicians who are hell-bent on rubbishing because they know that security is the governor's special fault, that the governor has achieved tremendously well in security. So what they want to rubbish it, and then they sponsor people They will be doing content saying that people are being killed here, people are being killed there. They will generate old videos, get things that happened in the past long ago, and then reenact them as though they happen now. Then they will go things that happened elsewhere. They will bring them in and say it's happening in Enugu. We saw so many of them. Some of them are even confessing now. You saw that? Did you see that on social media? People, they are confessing that they were sorry. They said they were sorry. You were sorry, but you have generated fear. You have made people begin to panic. You understand? Or think, and then the shocking effect, the trauma of all that, you know. And some of them have been taken to court, you know,
At least
the court will take care of that. Yes, yeah, because it's quite very wrong. Quite very wrong.
All right.
So Enugu is, like I said, is arguably the safest place. In fact, it has even been some, I forgot the name, but they carried out a research showing that Enugu is the safest place to live in Nigeria.
Okay, in as much as we applaud the current government in Enugu for its strides in ensuring that security infrastructure is adequately in place,
it is
the
world
command
class.
and control, the DRS, the cameras everywhere. But then, are we going to dispute the fact that there are pockets of criminal activities, especially in some very rural local areas in the state, talking about places like Uzuwan, a local government, Isuzu, where we got recent reports of herdsmen attack. After the Benue incident, we got report from Isuzu of attack also on the good people of Isuzu local government. Are we saying these things are not real?
All right. Well, number one is that even America, with world-class security infrastructure, gets pockets of breaches.
That's right.
You understand? So it is unexpected. They are there from time to time. But what we are saying is that if not for what this government has done, it would have been terrible. You understand? Now, Isuzu One is your place. You even know what the local government chairman is doing in Isuzu. You saw that immediately that issue of Isuzu One. You understand? The governor, DRS, is on patrol at Isuzu One. Patrol length and breadth of Isuzu One.
At the moment now.
At the moment, and you can see it now with the chairman. You understand? I know they had issues. They had header issues with the people, which you understand. But at least to guarantee the safety of life and property, the DRS is on ground. Even the CSO, the government house, is living at Isuzu One now.
At the moment.
Yes, because of security issues. So what we do is that when we get intelligence of this thing, it's not as though we don't have intelligence of them. So we get intelligence and then we move swiftly to avert it. That's what this government has been doing. All right. Even at Ihamufu, you understand? I really don't want to talk about that. But one thing I want to say is that human life is very important. You have no right to kill anybody, whether Fulani or Igbo, whether outside. You have no right to kill anybody. People you see, your fellow human being, you butcher them and kill them. It is very, very bad and condemnable. And those who are doing this should desist from it. Whether you are killing a Fulani or killing an Igbo person, it is wrong. It is quite very, very reprehensible. It shouldn't be condoned anywhere. It's condemnable. And our heart goes to the families of those who are killed. But all I want to tell you is that government got information and acted swiftly, blocked the entire place so that these people cannot come in. But they now resorted to soft targets across the borders and started killing people across the borders. But like I said, I don't want to talk about that because there are so many issues involved. Do you understand? Where we got it right and where we got it wrong is a different thing altogether. But let us understand that human life is sacred and nobody should be killed for any reason.
Because as a matter of fact, the whole world wept bitterly in tears over the incident that happened that occurred in Benue State, that even had to draw the attention of Mr. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, that took him down to Benue to commiserate with the people of Benue.
Yes.
And when the issues or incident actually came up, yes, personally, I went on investigation some time ago to see things for myself at Ihamufu in Isuzu, when the first report of headers attack on women and rape and the rest. But when we got there, we realized that the whole thing was overblown. at the onset.
Yes.
We came back and reported.
Yes. Okay, you were part of the people, journalists.
Yes, of course.
Okay.
We went there on investigation. So when this last report came that another attack had been launched, killing where about a number of lives were reportedly said to have been lost, we even began to hear of helicopter bringing in invaders and marauders, to attack the people.
So why would the helicopter come? Maybe because the place had been blocked.
And so I wouldn't know. So that's why we said, let's get across to you, at least to hear from the government side, these things, because we understand that we have a very porous border across Nigeria. And Enugu State has a very close boundary with part of the north central. Talking about Kogi, Uswani has boundary with Kogi,
yes.
And I think a part of Isuzu also with Benue.
Yes.
So we think it's going to be easy for these marauders to actually find their way into that part of the state.
No, it wasn't actually easy for them to find their way, but there were, a lot of issues were involved. Okay. You understand? So if you are found to have killed their own people, and they are coming on reprisal and things like that, but all I can say is that government, blocked off the entire area. You understand? Then they resorted to soft targets across the border. That was what happened. But it was quite unfortunate. And then the killing of anybody, killing of Fulani, or the killing of the Igbo, is quite unfortunate. You have no right. You have no right to do that. We're talking about human beings. We're talking about flesh and blood. Chris, as I'm looking at you, which I know, as I strike you now, if I strike you now, I will feel it as a human being.
Because you've got the conscience.
Yeah, so it's terrible.
It's
quite terrible. It's quite terrible. It's quite terrible and condemnable. No matter what happened, those pockets of attacks, you understand. The only thing is that things like when you go, you find out that things are blown out of proportion. But because they saw that Mba has done a lot in terms of security. So they want to commit suicide because Enugu is free.
So we're going to pause here on the part one of this discussion. We're going to go on this short break. But when we return, we'll continue the conversation with